All right, hey everyone, what's going on? Need More Drums here, back in City Skylines 2 for another episode in our City of Grand Keys. And so I know I've been pretty busy with some other things lately. Farming Simulator 25 came out, so I've been playing that a little bit, trying to wrap up another series for Farming Simulator 22 that will be out this week. And I also submitted an entry into City Planner Play's 1 hour build challenge. So if you haven't seen my video on that, I just posted it over the weekend, and it ended up being a really fun build, and I'm really proud of it, even though I may not win because I didn't have the highest population. But we'll see. We'll see how the people vote. But anyway, today's episode, we are going to focus a little bit more on probably like more of a live play style episode. We're going to be just knocking out a few different things here, kind of taking a step back and, looking at what we've built so far and then trying to fill in some of the gaps, because it's really easy to build a lot at once and then kind of overlook a few things and then forget to fix some little things. So let's start real quick with this road right here. So I don't like this area here because we have this main road that sort of goes through all the way to what will be kind of our central main strip for this part of the city. But then it just ends and hooks up to this alleyway, this little side street. And then we also have, this main road kind of here. I shouldn't really call it a main road, but it's more of it's definitely I would say a collector. It's not, obviously an arterial road, but it is, more somewhere between a collector and a side street. So I do want it to have a little bit more easy access. And then we have this sort of important road right here as well that connects the industrial area all the way to this residential neighborhood. And so the fact that this connection here is not happening, I don't like that. So we're gonna fix it. And I know it's gonna involve deleting some of these homes, but you know what? It's fine. We're gonna deal with it. So let's just go ahead. I want to dezone first so that these don't pop back up. And I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. We're using our eminent domain here. We're gonna fix this. And I'm actually just gonna delete this road. And I'm gonna delete this for now too, because I don't know how this is gonna go. And I actually might have to get rid of these homes as well, these two small ones here. And now let's just go, and I'm also going to probably downgrade these to become an alleyway, and I'm actually going to sever this connection here. So the first thing we're going to do, obviously, is just connect this road to this road, kind of like, see the best way to do this. I think it's going to end up being something like this, and we're going to have to use our curve tool to kind of make that fit. I know that's super ugly. Ugh, no, we're going to do something better than that. Come on. Sometimes it is good I don't often use these guidelines, but sometimes it is helpful. And I think that is going to be the ticket there. Yeah, that'll look really nice. So that's awesome. Now we have this connection to this kind of road, these two little main roads here. And I don't know, should I keep this connection? I kind of don't want to. I kind of don't like that. I'd rather just have this kind of cut through here. And then this can link into this here as well. So this will be kind of a main intersection for us. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sever this. The less connections here, the better, in my opinion. And then we'll downgrade that to a little alleyway. And now that'd be nice. This can take everybody straight to the industrial area, and then also to this main road, to this commercial area over here as well. So I'm really happy with that. Also wanted to round this out and make this into a small cul-de-sac there. And then we can fill this in with some low density homes. So we got that done. Now the next thing that I actually want to do is raise taxes a little bit. So we're making a pretty hefty sum of money, but I think we could do a little bit better. So if you bump up residential to 4% for now, then we'll actually bump up industry to 12. Is that going to tank our demand? It is a little bit. I'm actually going to keep that at 11 for now then, I think. But the residential, we could actually get away. Maybe if we bump up to 5. What about 6? I think that's going to be good for us. I'm not going to go any higher than that. I do like the lower residential taxes because then the demand is a little bit increased. And so that's going to really help kind of pad our budget for now for what I'm about to do next, which is death care. As you could see, we have a problem with our lack of death care at the moment, and we actually have a problem with the general lack of city services. So we're going to address all of these hopefully in this episode, but the first one I want to do is death care. And you're going to love this. I love this. We're going to take this crematorium. And I guess it's also worth noting too, since the last episode, we got two. It's been so long since I've played this game or been in this series that we have two new asset packs. We have the French asset pack and the German asset pack. Both are installed in this build, but I don't know if I'm going to use any of them right at this very moment. But down the line, I think there's going to be some room to use some of those buildings and even maybe some of those zones in this build. So if you have any suggestions where I could maybe implement some of those, leave them in the comments. I'd be really curious to, to get your guys' thoughts on how I can implement maybe some of those packs in this build, even if it's in like a small area or a small district. So let's go ahead here and we're going to put down this regular crematorium. It is expensive, I know, but the upkeep, I think we could afford it. And the reason that I want to do this one over the French one is because one, I just kind of like the way it looks. It's a little bit more of a bigger facility. And two, it actually does have double the number of hearses and double the storage capacity, even though it has the same processing capacity. In my opinion, I think it's going to be good, and it can be expanded as well. So that's even better. And I think we're going to put it right here because look at how nicely that fits. That is just, oh, you can't ask for a better fit there. And let's just detail this up just a bit with some trees and some landscaping. All right, and there we go. That's a nice little centerpiece for this area. You could see all of the hearses driving around. Quite an unfortunate sight to see. Not really what you want to see driving around your city, but hey, it's part of life, right? Anyway, okay. This area I'm saving for a commercial zone. This area I'm saving for either a commercial zone or some kind of housing development. And so I don't want to zone those up just yet. But what we will do is fill out the rest of these areas here. So the plan is to continue the medium density along this this collector. What is this? Applegate Street is our collector here. So we're going to zone out the medium density and continue this row housing. And then on these rows, we're going to fill this all in with some low density single family homes because that's what the people want. So let's go ahead and give the people what they want, I guess. And you know what? I just realized that this is actually an avenue as well. So I'm actually going to we're going to take a little bit of a backtrack here, correct a mistake. I do want to make these either row homes or medium density as well, as opposed to these single family homes, since this is a little bit more of a dense area. For this, we're going to do a combination, I think, of some of the medium density or some of the European row housing and the North American row housing, kind of like I've done here. I think it's kind of a nice variety, and I quite like the way that it looks when you have the two of them kind of mixed together a little bit. And there we go. We reached the Grand Village milestone, which means we have some different policies. District creation. Ooh, that'll be fun. Low rent housing, low density offices. We have offices, transportation, and parks. Oh, yes. That is exciting. Awesome. Okay. Very glad we have some parks. Although I don't really see us investing too much in anything like that right now. I want to boost our income a little bit more since we have some some, you know, outstanding. You can see we're not too crazy on money here. We're only about 20 grand in the green. So I want to make sure that we have enough of kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? A security blanket. Yeah, to be able to invest in some significant infrastructure improvements like that. But we could actually do with putting down some offices, I will say. So maybe we can do something like that. Not quite where this industrial area is, but maybe somewhere along there. Like I said, I don't really want to zone along Myrtle Street at the moment. I want to leave this as a just a standalone arterial road. But what we could do maybe is zone some offices in an area maybe like this, kind of like, you know, come off of here and just have sort of like some dead end streets here. Or actually, you know what we could do is we could actually turn the office area into a nice little, not necessarily a park, but kind of a park. You'll see what I mean. Let's just actually zone some stuff out, and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. And yeah, we're gonna let those offices develop first over here before I actually detail that area up. But yeah, what I'm doing, you know, with these homes is that the way I like to zone is really just pay attention to the lot sizes. I think it makes sense in a city, like in an area like this that's going to be kind of closer to a downtown. It makes sense to keep the lot sizes pretty consistent. And you figure that these homes, you know, are built to kind of maximize the space, and so these people will be able to afford these homes a little bit better because they're just a little bit smaller. So we're gonna keep that in mind kind of as we zone out this area. All right, so now that these are kind of developed here, I could show you guys kind of what I want to do. So I think we're just gonna trying to see if I can snap right up against this building. Ooh, yeah, like that. And I know it's not the prettiest right now, but let's just go ahead and detail this up a little bit, and we'll make this into a nice little kind of attractive corner area for this part of the city. There we go. Just literally like 2 minutes of quick detailing. We have a nice little, kind of like a park area over here now. So I like that. I'm happy with that. And again, this is all vanilla, which is awesome. So with that being said, let's move on. And I think I would like to, I'm almost tempted to kind of go through and like detail up some of these corners. And I think the way that I'm going to be able to do that, you know what? We're actually not going to do that for right now. We're going to go back over here. Actually, no, we're not going to do that either. Let's think. So should we start building our main street? Nah, I don't think we're ready for that yet. I don't think we're ready. We don't have any like mixed use or anything. We're going to come back to that a little bit later, I think. Let me just think very briefly about what I want to do here because we have a few options. All right, and so I thought about what we can do, and I think that we would really benefit from making a neighborhood in this area, like a low density neighborhood, and actually building out a some more single family homes and then an elementary school. And then we do have the money to invest in that. And then after that, I think we need to focus on some of these other city services like police and fire. But we'll be able to afford those more as we expand out this residential zone over here. And not to mention that if we create some education, our buildings will level up and we'll be able to take advantage of the additional benefits that come with that. So I think that it might even mean more tax income and stuff like that. So the first thing that I actually want to do is move these power lines a little bit because I don't like where these go at the moment. So we're going to push these a little bit closer to the highway. I think they're a little bit too inland here and they kind of create this wasted space here that I just don't think would happen in the real world. So I'm just going to bump this one out over here and then we're going to kind of redraw this power line so we can make the best use of this space. And yes, I now understand why I had the power lines a little bit offset from the highway, because as we build our highway on-ramps and off-ramps, I want there to be a little bit of space, but I think we'll be able to work with some of this, and if we have to bump it out just a little bit more a little bit later, I'm not going to be too upset about that. So let's play this again, and then we will build out this area. So I think what's going to happen is I'm trying to think of a good way to connect this roundabout. So we have this pretty big road here, and I don't think we're gonna make a highway connection here. I kind of want to avoid that because I want this to be more of like a quiet neighborhood. And so what I think we're actually going to do is we're going to use these roads, kind of put the elementary school here so that we don't have to create a connection from this main avenue, and then it'll kind of be a nice way to tie that into the roundabout as well. So let's go ahead and take, looks like both of these roads are pretty important. I think we can bring actually the two of them together, and that will be a smart move for us. And honestly, for the rest of this, I think I'm just going to use side streets. And the reason for that being, I don't want this to be a super dense area, and I think using the side streets or these little alleyways will actually force us to kind of keep the density a little bit lower. So let's just go ahead and we'll drag out some. What is this, yeah, okay, so this is how we get our 6x6 grids here, just by using these. People would probably not want to be backed up to these high tension power lines, so we're not going to zone anything. And even these are a little bit too close to comfort, if I'm being honest. You know what, I'm actually going to delete this connection here because I don't like how close it is to the power lines. We'll just instead bring this out into like a little bit of a cul-de-sac like we did here. I might actually do away with that one as well, so that we can keep kind of a lot of this area free. And we won't zone right up against these because people don't want to live right up against high tension power lines. But then we are going to have a little bit of a medium density development right here, I think, with some homes maybe like this, and then we'll have some row homes kind of behind it. I think that'll help bring some, density and affordable housing to this area, being close to the elementary school. And then over here, I think what we will do is I don't want to connect. Actually, we are going to do that. We're going to do similar to what we did at the beginning of the episode. We're actually going to make this connection here. And this is going to give us a nice connection to that road right there. And I know you're sad. I'm sorry. I'm deleting your homes, but it's for the good of the city, I promise. So we're going to do that. That'll make this a lot more accessible. Another pathway to get from the elementary school to this, through this neighborhood into this commercial area over here where we have our medical clinic that I actually forgot that we had. So that's excellent. Okay. Well, now that we have that, let's go ahead and just zone all of this out, and then we will see how it looks. All right, and so we do have some development points, and I want to actually go straight for the large parks because now we can actually put down this playground for the elementary school. And I know I didn't actually realize the height difference in this area, but that's okay. That's actually all right. And I know we can't fit the clinic, but I do want this playground. So I think we're gonna put this like that. And then these upgrades, actually, the extension wing fits in the footprint of the building, with which is nice. And the reason that I put that playground there is so that we can actually run a pathway along the side like this. Oh, whoops, not like that, like this. And we'll have this connect. We already have some connections, it looks like, here. So why not just connect this, if we can, kind of to the sidewalk like that. There we go, perfect. Look at that. And that way people can just kind of cross and just walk right up the little hill there to the school. And I would like to actually have this come down here. So we're going to do a little bit of terrain smoothing. Actually, you know what? We're going to use our slope tool. And let's see if we can even do this. So it's that. And then I want to drag this like that. There we go. Let's see if that'll be okay. That'll work. That'll be all right. And I wonder if I should do something on this side, but that's actually a little high. I think what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna landscape this, put some bushes, and call it a day. And then same with this, we'll landscape this a little bit as well. Let's go ahead and do that now. Get this all cleaned up. All right, now I'm liking that for now. That's looking pretty decent, if I say so myself. And what we're gonna do as well is I actually want to remove street parking from these roads here. I think with this being a residential area, it might be nice to actually have some tree-lined streets. Although we do have a lot of trees kind of around here, but that's okay. And there we go. That area really turned out quite nice, I gotta say. So I think now would be a good time to not maybe invest in SimCity services because we're making like literally no money, but maybe think about where we can put down some more office zones and or industry. And so industry, I do want to have some industry over here eventually, but probably not right now. I think in terms of the office zone though, we could throw down a couple of office zones. Maybe in this area right here. This could be a nice little, since this is the intersection of a couple of major roads, this might be a good spot for a little bit of an office park. And we could do something kind of nice like we did before. And I actually, you know what I forgot? I completely forgot about parking for the elementary school. And this terrain is not very suitable for having a parking lot. So I think what we could do is we could have a parking lot over here and then kind of have it shared among some office buildings and then the elementary school as well. And so we don't have parking unlocked, so we're going to change that right now because that is important. Let me just look real quick. Is there anything else that we really need right now while we have this? And I think the answer is no. Yeah, I think we're pretty good on this so far. I do want to get highways. You know what? We're going to get highways because then in the next episode or something, we can actually start building our on-ramps. But yeah, so we do need a police station very badly, and we also need a fire station because that's going to really hurt us a little bit in the future. So let's actually zone out some offices and get this parking lot placed, and then we can go from there. So I think the medium parking lot should probably be good enough. So now that we have that, let's put down some office zones. So, okay, so that's very nice. I think here we'll save this for a commercial zone. That would make a lot of sense right here. And I think for now, for the rest of the build, we're kind of almost done. But while I have the time, I just want to flush out some of these corner areas and just kind of fill in some of these zones, make some nice little park spaces if we can, maybe add in a few more houses and just kind of fill in some of these gaps like right along this main road here. I want to focus on just getting this little area finished, and then we can, you know, call it a day. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I will bring you guys back in once we are finished. Okay, so I know I'm breaking my own rule here, and I said that I was not going to add zoning along this road, but I wanted to see if this would look kind of cool. I wanted to try put down some of the German medium density row houses, or not row houses, just the medium density houses, and just see if we can get like a old, you know, kind of some old brick buildings just along this road that you figure may have been there for a long time and are kind of these really cool historical homes. You see this a lot in Chicago. You know, as you may or may not know if you've seen my other videos, you know that I live in Chicago, and so there are tons. I always kind of take inspiration from certain aspects of the city, and there's a lot of times when I'm walking around, you know, I live in kind of a smaller neighborhood, kind of on the north side, but I walk around a lot and spend a lot of time in areas like Lincoln Park, which has a lot of these really, really cool old brick buildings. And, you know, the more that I think about it, the more that I kind of am reminded of those by some of those like German asset pack buildings. I think that they would, you know, bode really well for kind of making an area like that. But yeah, check out, I'm happy with kind of what I did here. I'll be honest, it's, you know, very simple, but when you kind of take a step back and just look at this versus what it used to be, it just looks so much more connected now that we added in some zoning. We added this cool passage park, and even just some little pathways and trees kind of make this area have a little bit of character. And obviously the rest of the city needs that treatment, but, you know, that might be like a either off-camera thing or just a whole, you know, dedicated kind of detailing episode type thing. And I just realized I have some spots here that are not filled in. I got to remember to fill in my zones as I expand. I keep forgetting to come back to some of those areas, but it looks like for now, like a lot of those are everything's pretty filled out, which is good. Yeah, one last thing before we end the episode. I want to place down a fire station and a police station. And I think that we have the money for oh yeah, we definitely have the money for that. Man, it's so funny just looking back to the first city that I just built before it got all bugged. City Skylines 2. That city was so bad in terms of our financials, and this one is just not. So I don't know what happened there, but you know, it's pretty cool that we have this you know, kind of good financial situation for once. But yeah, so I think the fire station, I want to put it off of the main road, and I'm thinking about putting it here. And the reason that I want to put it here is because I want this to be a cool little park area. I know I said, actually, you know what? No, we're going to keep this. We're going to leave this as, I just remembered I said I wanted this to be a commercial area. So we're going to leave it at that. This area I think would be a cool park area because we have this cool diagonal road here that I think won't really serve. It'll be harder to kind of make zoning look good here. So I think making this into like a park / community oriented area would be very, very good for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to put down our fire station. Before I do that, actually, I want to think about a parking lot as well. So I think we can have some parking. I want to do maybe this modest. We have this modest parking lot, and I like this one because it has these nice little trees, or this nice little hedge fence kind of alongside of it. So I like that. I think that looks really nice. And we're going to add the fire station right next to that. And actually, I'm going to put it, yeah, I'll put it right next to it. Why not? But yeah, and the fire station, I might actually take it down a little bit budget-wise because we don't actually need that much fire protection. I think I can bring it to about 70%. And I know it's going to put our vehicles in maintenance. You know, I can even bring it down even more. Let's go down 60. I want to get to 2 trucks. There we go. Yeah, in a city of 4,000 people, you would not expect them to have a ton of fire apparatus. So being as someone who's very interested in the fire service, yeah, that just makes sense to me that they would have just a lot less. And I'll come back to that area. I know I was making it into like a little park. We'll come back to that a little bit later, but right now I want to put down the police station. And I think this would be a good spot for one. I know it's a little bit off the beaten path. Actually, you know what? Let me see how big it is because I think I have an idea. No, we could use the small one, but I kind of want to use the big one. And we're actually running out of money here pretty badly. That's okay. I think we can get away with this for now. And then we can always upgrade it or build a bigger police station later as needed. Or you know what? Maybe we build a small one over here and a bigger one over here as it gets more populated. Why don't we do that? Let's do that. I kind of like, just because I don't really know what to do with this area, and I think having like a police station here might be the solution. So we'll put this down. Let's see if we can fit. I know we can fit some kind of parking lot over here, even if it's just a small one. Can't fit that. We could fit the modest one again. I like that parking lot. I kind of like how this is, you know, they can kind of drive. It looks like it's maybe like a little bit connected. That's really cool. And actually, I forgot, I gotta get rid of the parking fees. I gotta keep remembering to do that because otherwise we won't really use them. Yeah, I mean, that's not quite, this is kind of what I was looking for here. Maybe like this one. I mean, it's not quite what I was thinking of, but I think it might work. I think it might work. We'll surround it with some once these trees get bigger too, it'll look really cool. And I think, you know what, we can go ahead and make a couple of these bigger trees just like kind of around here anyway to hide some of the imperfections. these lack of walls here kind of drives me nuts, or lack of windows, I guess. They're just like these big walls. I don't really like that. So we'll just kind of try to cover that up a little bit if we can. And yeah, and I just think this plaza would just be perfect for this area. We can have, if it would let me do this. And again, this can kind of be, you know, like a focal area of the community. So we can just have some nice bushes along here. We'll do some nice cultivated bushes kind of along these pathways. There we go. I like that. I really like that. I like how this area turned out. Kind of want to... The only buildings I don't like are these. Let me see if I can get rid of these. I don't like those. I'm sorry. I don't. Yeah, maybe we can get some a little bit better there. But if not, oh well. We'll live with it. Can't really complain. Not going to be coming back to this area too much thinking about all that. So really could be worse. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with where we are. We are still making money, which is fantastic. We have the most, in my mind, some of the most important city services now. We have our elementary school, we have our fire department, and we have our police department, and we have some nice parks, a beautiful little center over here. Still keeping this road looking fantastic, and I'm just really, really happy with how this is turning out. So in the next episode, I think I would really like to get some commercial up, but to do that, we got to get some wealth up, and to do that, we got to create more jobs. So let me I didn't even look at this the entire time. Ooh, yeah, unemployment is looking bad, 26%. So what that is telling me is that we need to create some kind of second industrial area, or somewhere we still have an office demand. So I think, creating some office demand, or zoning some more offices will be definitely needed to keep this going. So I think we'll have to think about where we want to do that. I actually don't have a good idea of where that will be at the moment, but it might involve kind of doing something around, around this area a little bit or something. Well, we since we don't have much other space, unfortunately, at the moment, but that will all come in due time. We just got to expand a little bit, but we don't have the money for that right now. So until next time, hope you all have a great rest of your week. And thanks again for watching. I really appreciate the support. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions for future builds. But yeah, thank you so much. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.